So I just open up my feed so I can share this, and a spectacular supermoon will brighten up the night sky across the UK later today as it moves closer to the Earth. The full moon will appear 14% bigger and 30% brighter than usual to stargazers. Beautiful. Hi, welcome. I'm curious how the full moon has been for you. Please say hello. Let me know you're here. If you don't know me, my name is Hannah. Welcome. You're definitely here. Hi, Benjamin. So I'm curious how the full moon's been. For a lot of people been a bit wiped about it. Wiped with tiredness, a lot of old stuff coming up. Just gonna share this and I shall be present. See who else joins us live. A pretty it's a pretty powerful full moon last night, but hey, every full moon's a pretty powerful one. But in ceremony it was amazing. Ended up going up to the moonlight rays and then going through a portal and going down to a sacred cave where we reclaimed our gifts. It was pretty spectacular, if I do say so myself. Every full moon ceremony that I hold is completely different. Each one, is as intuitively channeled, and last night was the first of the 3 supermoons that we've got coming up. So that's the first one. And then the second one, I think it's the 2nd of January. And then the third one is at the end of January. So there's actually 2 in January, which lead for a blue moon, which is going to be pretty powerful. Start to 2018. So Benjamin says, I notice I can get emotional fast and I'm a real man. But it looks like this new moon makes me get in touch with my feelings more than ever. Yeah, the full moon, amplifies anything. So, and when we're looking at, it's like the fullness of the full moon, it's like, everything is lit up. So everything is shone a light on, so to speak, of what needs to shift, what needs to change, what needs to stay the same. We're showing what's hidden, right? So, in the dark moon, in the new moon, in 2 weeks' time, there's a lot of shedding. It's like a very coming in space to really look internal. When we get to the full moon, it's when things, manifest and come to bloom, but it's also, if anything has been hidden, it's been shone a light on. So that's why I love doing the full moon ceremonies, because it is like, it's an awesome time to clear out anything, because you're showing what you're missing, right? Because the light's been shone on it. And then it's also awesome for setting intentions and creating what you want in your life, because that light amplifies, right? Everything is beamed into the universe. So welcome. There's a few people joining me live. Nice to have you all here tonight. So I'm wondering how the full moon has been for you guys that are just joining us. And I want to talk about the fears that stop you from aligning with your life purpose that you know about can't stop. So it's like that sabotage, right? Hey, Lara. So if you've got any questions at all while I'm on live stream, please just ask away. Let me know about anything I'm talking about, or if you've got something else. I'm not pulling cards, but I'm happy to answer some questions. So when I talk about the fears that stop you from aligning with your life purpose, what I'm talking about there is that, when you know that you've got a purpose, when you know that there's something that you need to do, but you're not quite clear of what that is, right? But everything you're doing feels like it's pushing you back 2 steps further away from actually where you want to be. And it's kind of what I wanted to speak to, because there's kind of 2, I guess there's 2 parts to this, yeah? So one is, sabotage, and I don't even like the word sabotage, to be honest, but it's a way to explain things. And, you know, when we're working on something, you know, and it might be that you have trouble starting something, or that you get halfway through and, you know, something will come up like yourself, whether you don't feel like you're good enough to finish it, or you're nearly at the end and you'll get pulled off path from, you know, whatever distraction happens in your life. Could be a family issue, you know, which some things can't be helped. But when you recognize that, you know, when you are, you know, fully moving onto your life purpose, and there's things that will try and pull you off, it takes practice and discipline to recognize them, and then to keep going no matter what. So second time I've kicked the bin. When we're talking about, you know, the fears that you know about, it's like, okay, so I'm going to give you my example, right? So my example is that, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about that, in 2012, that bin, it was the second time I kicked. In 2012, I did 3 months raw food, and I felt, after the initial detox stage, I felt amazing. Felt the best I've ever felt my entire life, and ever since then I've been trying to get back to eating raw food. And there's a part of me that was like, knew that raw food was a big part of my life purpose. I didn't quite know how, but I knew it was a big part of my life purpose. Plus, every time I'd go to do raw food, you know, a relationship would pull me off path, or something would pull me off path, or I'd feel like, you know, it's like, eating raw food, I knew it was good for me, but because I knew it had such a big part of my life purpose, even though I didn't know how, there was like a part of me that was resistant to doing it, even though there was distractions. Yeah, I could blame them, but ultimately, under the core of it, I knew that there was resistance to stepping onto my life purpose, to, you know, completely aligning with what I knew I was meant to do. And it's like that resistance, and I wanted to speak to that, right? Because at the same time I knew it was resistance to fully stepping onto my life purpose, I also knew that it was, back then I didn't, but I see now it was a timing thing, right? So it's a timing of, you know, knowing when you know something and you know that you're supposed to do something, but you have resistance doing it. It's almost like, yeah, one could say, yeah, oh, well, you're sabotaging yourself and you're doing this and that's sabotage, and, you know, but what I really want to say is that when you know you've got to do something and there's kind of resistance to doing it, or you do a little bit and then you pull back and, you know, all this, I want you to just kind of take the pressure off yourself and just know that there's a divine timing for everything as well. So yeah, there's sabotage, but there's a certain readiness, there's a timing, there's a willingness to step into that purpose, that, you know, there could be other factors that, you know, need to happen first. And the other part of that is, you know, like, trust yourself enough that when you're really ready to do something, you will do it. Like, you know, there gets that point where you're like, right, I've had enough of this, and then you do something about it. So it's almost like, you know, you think it's going to be cruising along, and then you know, it gets to a point where you can't, it's like you can't tolerate it anymore, or you're just ready, right? Hey, Uli, beautiful to have you here. So it's like, you know, trust yourself enough that when you are going to, you know that there's something that you need to do that's related to your life purpose, even though you don't know what that is, but you can feel it, right? So for me, it was like, I knew raw food was something I had to do, but every time I tried doing it, it would be too hard, or relationship, or like whatever the excuse was. At the same time, I see that there was just I don't know if it was a readiness, but there was so many other factors that had to happen at the same time, you know, to align me and to put me completely on path. So the purpose of my live stream tonight is to say to you that if there's something that you know that is something you have to do, but you do a little bit and you pull back, or whatever pulls you off path, if you want to say that, trust that you're learning everything you need to right now for that fruition of your life purpose, right? And that everything that happens here is your life purpose too. Because without these steps, and this pulling this way and that pulling that way, and whatever situations happen to you, it's like a preparation for actually the fruition, like completely aligned. Like, and I don't know if aligned's the word, because I always think that we are on path. It's just a matter of, you know, when we actually shed the skins of what isn't completely aligned, well then we do, you know, it blooms. So if you're going through something, or you know, and you know that there's something that you need to do, but you're not sure you can trust it again, or you're not sure, you know, like, is it ever going to happen? Or, you know, like, it's like, oh yeah, I know I need to do that, but this happened, and you know, that happened, and you know, like, just let go of the guilt, I guess, that you're like, oh, they should be doing this, you know. It's like, well, you know that that's a big part of your purpose in whatever way, shape or form, and then eventually you will have enough. You'll be like, right, that's enough of that now, and you'll be really ready to do something. So, you know, it's the same, you know, when you really want to learn something, you step up and you learn it. So, you know, trust the timing. And I just had to jump on live stream tonight and just say that, you know, if you think that, you know, you're not doing something, but you know you should be doing something, but there's just resistance, or something's not quite right for you to fully do that thing, well then trust that. Trust that there's, like, you know, have an awareness of that. Like, okay, cool, yeah, I know I need to do that thing, but there's something that stops me from it. Yeah, it could be fear, could be sabotage, could be whatever. And there could just be not a readiness, not a timing, not a, you know, so just trust that timing, trust that sense that everything right now is happening because it's part of your purpose in getting you to a point. Like, who knows, like, the journey's the destination, right? So it's just like being okay, trust this space, be here now, and be okay with it, right? So I don't know if anyone's got any questions about that, but I just, yeah, really had to say, you know, if you've got resistance to something, know that you'll eventually work through it. Because if you know that it's a big part of your purpose, even though you don't know what it looks like, it's inevitable, right? It's inevitable, especially if you watch my live streams, especially if you follow my work, right? Because I am the life purpose queen, and you will be on path if you resonate with my teachings and you follow me and all of that, right? You've got a big purpose, and it is a point in timing of trusting yourself, but aligning and knowing, you know, if you're doing the inner work, there's nothing to be guilty about. Like, everything is part of your purpose. Everything has a purpose, and everything is your purpose. So what's coming to mind is the liquid crystal, what is it? It's the kookaburra, and its purpose is manifestation of purpose. I can't think what the crystal is, and it is, you know, like, it's the fact that everything has a purpose. Everything in your life is serving a purpose to allow your consciousness to grow, to keep moving forward, to keep expanding in awareness, in heart space, in consciousness, right? What is the kookaburra? It's garnet. I knew it was a red one. It's not, I was thinking ruby, but ruby's the tiger and spiritual warrior. So garnet is manifestation of purpose, and the kookaburra animal totem. So everything in your life has a purpose, yeah? Everything serves a purpose. All right. Does anyone have any questions tonight? Want to ask me something? But yeah, that full moon, and you know, I posted about it this morning, you know, if, you know, and I say it all the time, and I say it for a reason, because it's real, right? And people feel the full moon. Like, we get more emotional, you know, sometimes we can get more tired, or we can get more energized, or, you know, like tuning into, you know, yourself and noticing the cycles and rhythm. That's why I teach, you know, in Trust the Intuition, I teach the Moon Goddess initiation, you know, in my free empath YouTube video, you know, I go through the cycles and the rhythm simply because that sense is, you know, like, when we are deeply connected to, you know, knowing when the full moon's full, knowing when it's new moon, knowing when the tides are high, you know, if you live near the ocean, knowing, you know, what's going on in nature, because, you know, when the tides are high, like it was a super full moon, like where I am, so last night, peaking, and the tides in the ocean were, you know, 2 meters high. That was, you know, looking at the beach on the camera, it's like there's hardly no sand. And, you know, like if you can imagine all that, you know, that energy, and the water is up as well, and, you know, it's just like it's full, right? It'll be heightened, and emotions are, you know, amplified, and, you know, it's just being aware of, you know, those can support you, rather than what's wrong with me, and I thought that I dealt with this, and, you know, all that stuff. It's like, no, it's like, you know, just being mindful of your environment, like your physical home, your okay, I think that dropped. Hang on a sec. Where's that thing? Hang on a sec. Okay, cool. It should be connected now. All right. Yeah, and it's just being aware of your environment, so that you don't think that something's wrong with you, because, you know, if we're made up of what, 70 to 90% water, and the tides are high at 2 meters, and the super full moon, you know, it's like we feel these things. You know, you feel energy from someone who's coming, you know, walking through a shopping center. You feel when somebody's upset, you know, like, of course we're going to feel everything else in the environment too. Yeah, no, my internet just dropped, then I just turned off the Wi-Fi. Seems to work better if I'm just on my mobile data. I thought you had a comment there. Oh, that's what you said. Your internet's acting up. Yeah. Oh, okay. Does the moon also affect financial aspects, especially with the currency reset going on and all that? Nope. Your mindset does. And when I say this as well, around, you know, the moon affects you and all this sort of stuff, ultimately, nothing can affect you. Nothing. When you're fully clear, when you're empowered, when you are taking extra care of yourself, where your mindset is at, you know, all of that, nothing can affect you. When you get to a point of, you know, I don't know, yes and no, right? A certain level of vibration, nothing can affect you. It's the Buddha drinking the poison, you know, like it didn't hurt him, right? You know, ultimately nothing can affect you, yeah? And it's that thing of, like, I say, yes, the moon might make you feel more emotional, it amplifies things, and this is so, like, I mean, in myself, like yesterday I was really wiped with tiredness, and I was like, okay, what's going on? Maybe I need more sleep, you know, and that's kind of real. Like, I was up late every night last week. But at the same time, I was about to hold a ceremony. I always have emotions come up before I hold a ceremony, because ceremonies do that. They bring stuff to the surface. So I was working through my own stuff, and then after the ceremony, I was full of energy again. I'm like, okay. So it's like just being mindful. And when I say, like, you know, nothing outside of you affects you, that means your finances, that means your health, that means your emotional state, that means how you feel, that means your environment. Like, nothing can affect you, right? And it all starts with mindset and discipline and working on your subconscious, because as I always say, that's like the tip of the iceberg is like 10%, or what is it, 1%, and the other 90 or 99% of the iceberg under the water, right? We always know the iceberg's massive under the water. Then, you know, if we're doing the conscious work, but we're not digging deep about the beliefs or the wounds or the stuff that's, you know, this 90%, this is going to be running the show no matter how much positive thinking you do. That's why The Secret never worked for a lot of people, because they did all the positive thinking and then all their stuff came up and then they didn't know what to do with it, so they shut it all back down again, and this is still running the show, right? So no, I don't believe that finances would be affected by a full moon. If anything, they'd be amplified, right? And that comes from mindset. Oh, full moon, amplifying the light. Yes, light up my finances. Oh my God, I earned so much money tonight. Like, it's a mindset thing. If you are the true creator of your reality, nothing outside of you affects your reality. That's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's the same old thing there, yeah? It's mindset, and doing the work. Okay. The moon is sending you crazy. Okay, so I'd be checking in with self-care and then working with like your emotions, you know, coming up there, you know, like I specifically tuned in. It was like the moon, you know, like we're shedding. Last night was a specific powerful moon. Yes, it was a super moon, and yes, it's the first of 3, you know, super moons, you know, now and 2 in January. But the other factor about last night's peak full moon is the fact that it was clearing off something to do with like clearing out 2017. So if you think back the past, you know, 12 months or the past 11 months about what's been going on for you, all that stuff's going to be coming up and to the surface so that we can clear it and then walk into 2018 clear. Yeah? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and again, Benjamin, that's, you know, what if the mindset is you want to attract wealth, then the moon makes that stronger? Yes, if you believe that. So if you believe that the moon's going to make things different, well, then the moon will make things different, right? So whatever, and ultimately, if you're the true creator of your reality, whatever you believe is true. What is it? Whatever is it you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. Yeah? All comes down to what you believe and, you know, what you're willing to do and, you know, listen to your intuition and walk through and all of that. It's all of that. So, I don't know what that is there. So yeah, so I hope that helps understanding there. Nothing but positive changes. Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly what it comes down to. Like I said, it's you know, got nothing to do with outside of yourself. It's the iceberg underneath the water. That's what we need to be looking at all the time. Whatever is showing up in your reality is something that you've attracted because of what's sitting there, yeah? That's where the gold is. And that's where the fears are. And as soon as you go, oh, and you look at this fear, what does that do? It shines a light on it and it brings it up to the light. And then this becomes lighter. So, I'm going to jump off live stream if there's any. I have wisdom and knowledge of the 5th dimension frequency. Thanks. I feel like I do, for sure. It's really normal for me too. It's interesting. There's a period of time there where I thought it was normal for everybody, and then I realized, no, it's not. I feel like I'm a gatekeeper almost to help translate the spiritual knowledge into the physical reality, probably why my business name's called Reality Awareness and came to me in meditation in 2006. So Reality Awareness it is. Helping people to understand spiritual truths in the modern day world. So if nobody's got any other questions, I'm going to jump off live stream. I've got lots of things coming out in the next 2 weeks, so keep an eye out for them. It's funny to know, yeah. I guess that's when I stepped into my power. I'm like, oh, that's what I'm here for, to help people understand. Okay. Ding, there goes my gift. So yes, I got lots of things coming out in the next 2 weeks. I'm really excited. As you've probably seen, I'm going on a road trip, a big road trip. Hey Samoy, going on a massive road trip actually. Hey John. And I'm really excited about it. So everything will be running as normal, which I'm really excited about, because that's why I've built this business online the way it is, and I'm really excited to be going for a big road trip across Australia. So if you'd like to see Australia through my eyes, then keep an eye on my stories, and especially my stories, but of course I'll still be blogging and live streaming from amazing places around the world. Perhaps it's a spiritual road trip. I think everything's spiritual, so I guess that's yes. So I've got open at the moment the 2018 psychic readings. So if you've got a psychic reading from me before, you'll know how in-depth and detailed and clear they are. And I'm excited to be offering the 2018 year readings. Now, I offered these last year, so coming into 2017, and I actually typed them up. And while that was awesome, I can say so much more than I can type. Like I'm like, can't type quick enough. So I'm really excited to be offering the audio psychic readings for 2018. So it would like be having me as your personal guide. Well, I'm happy for you to book one in, John, if you want a psychic reading. Then you can get a taste of it. But the 2018 readings are open. So basically I'm doing a psychic reading for each month of the year, so January through to December, and I'll be pulling cards for each month for you, and then obviously reading that. Now I was just going to do one big, you know, audio recording for each, you know, for the whole year, and then it dawned on me, I was like, well, actually, if I was receiving that, it would be annoying if it got to like September and I'd have to like go through the entire reading again just to listen to that month. So I'm actually offering it where there's like, you'll get 12 individual readings, so one for each month, a photo of the cards that I pull, and it'll be specifically channeled obviously for you, and you know what you need to watch out for, where you can step up in, you know, what opportunities will be coming along that you can prepare for and make the most of, and completely aligning you into your life purpose for 2018 so that you can truly step up and be the you and make 2018 the best year you've had yet, because it's not been very nice, as you know, pretty rough for a lot of people in the past several years. So I'll post the link in the comments. I'll post just the standard psychic reading too for you, John, so you can have a look at that if you'd like to just book a psychic reading. And then I'll also, am I using specific cards? Well, they'll just be intuitively chosen cards. I've got many card decks, so I will just intuitively choose which decks for which months, as I usually do. Alright, so this is just the psychic reading there for you, John. I just posted that in the comments. And then I shall post the 2018 link as well. So if you'd like to get the 2018 psychic reading, I'll post that in the comments. And I love doing them for people last year too. I love doing the year-long ones, being like your personal guide for each single month. Alright, so this is a 2018. Bit excited to do like an audio for each month too. Not sure what you mean about that, Gigi. Yeah, so there's the two there. There's just the standard psychic reading, which is an audio reading. So all my readings are audio readings and they get emailed out to you. The standard psychic reading, so not the 2018, but the standard psychic reading, it goes anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on what I'm reading. You're a money magnet. Woohoo! I love that. Yes. Money magnet, can't wait to purchase your reading. Yay! That's awesome. Yeah, love that manifestation, Samoy. So yeah, so the psychic reading anywhere from 20 minutes up to 60 minutes, and then that psychic reading is, I use 5 card decks, so it's a big spread, and go through, you know, if you've got specific questions or if you just want me to see what messages come through for you. And then, yeah, as I said, the 2018 psychic reading, that's, you know, 12 individual audio readings by me with different card decks for each month, or the same depending on what messages come through around that. So the links are in the comments there. If you've got any questions at all and you're watching this replay, please comment below. Take it easy on this full moon. So, you know how I said before, you know, if things, you know, are affecting you, it's, you know, it takes time to, you know, adjust and tune in and, you know in yourself, in your power, that actually I have power and control over my thoughts and emotions, and they're the things that I can control, so I'm going to focus on them. That's why I always say journal, you know, take care of yourself and do your inner work, because it gets to a point where you become so powerful from the inside out, and all this subconscious big iceberg doesn't run the show. It's you running the show. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, exercise is awesome to get in your body and shift out the energy, and make your physical self stronger, which makes your soul stronger to be in your body. So yeah, really, really important. Yeah, the supermoon. Yeah, so the supermoon, you know, any full moon, you know, can knock people about a bit, but it's just being conscious of it and knowing how to support yourself in it is the biggest key to that. So yeah, so if you think this live stream can help somebody, please share it. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe. And I look forward to speaking to you real soon. Keep an eye out tomorrow for my free Tuesday tarot that will be released in the morning. And I love doing my Tuesday tarot. I haven't missed a Tuesday in almost 15 months straight now. So I love doing that. Keep an eye out for it. Links in the comments for the 2018 psychic reading. Take care of yourself. Lots of love. Keep it real. Namaste.